Hello, dear friend. Welcome to your sleep story for tonight. I want you to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Let your body settle into whatever surface supports you. Feel the weight of your limbs. Feel the softness beneath you, and take one slow, deep breath. Breathe in gently through the nose, and release. Just like that. Tonight, I am going to take you somewhere warm and beautiful. A city of ancient stone and golden light, of sea breezes and centuries of history. You are going to Barcelona, and as we journey there together, I will count down slowly from 10 to 1. With each number, you will drift a little deeper into rest, a little more relaxed, a little more at peace. 10. Feel the weight of your body right now. Every muscle heavy, every bone settling. The day is behind you. Whatever happened, whatever is still waiting, none of it needs you now. 9. Your shoulders are dropping. If you notice any tension there, simply breathe into it. Let the exhale carry it away. 8. Your jaw is soft. Your hands are open and loose. 7. Your breath is slowing on its own, becoming quieter, deeper, more natural. 6. Barcelona is waiting. A warm evening. Ancient streets. The faint scent of sea on the air. 5. Your eyes are closed, your body is resting, and your mind is beginning to let go. 4. Every sound around you becomes part of the stillness. 3. You are safe. You are held. There is nothing you need to do. 2. The city is appearing now, soft and golden, just at the edge of your mind. 1. Let go completely. You are here. You are in Barcelona, and it is a beautiful, quiet night. You find yourself standing at the top of La Rambla, Barcelona's most famous boulevard. In the daytime, this wide tree-lined promenade is alive with street performers, flower stalls, and the constant flow of visitors. But right now, at this late hour, it is peaceful. The plane trees that line both sides of the boulevard form a canopy overhead, their leaves rustling softly in the warm Mediterranean breeze. A few of their shadows dance on the ground, lit by the amber glow of the old street lamps. You begin to walk slowly down the gentle slope of La Rambla, heading toward the sea. Your footsteps are quiet on the wide stone walkway. The air is warm and soft. Barcelona nights carry a particular quality of warmth, even in the quieter seasons. It is a warmth that settles into your skin, that loosens your muscles and calms your breathing. You feel it now, wrapping around you like a gentle embrace. On one side, you notice the grand facade of the Grand Théâtre de l'Élysée, one of Europe's most celebrated opera houses. It has stood here on La Rambla since the mid-19th century, and even now, in the deep quiet of the night, there is something magnificent about it. Its tall arched windows, the ornate stonework above the entrance. You pause for a moment, simply looking, somewhere deep in the city's memory. Orchestras still play and voices still soar within those walls. You continue walking. The boulevard narrows slightly as you go deeper, the buildings rising tall on either side. You pass a small cafe, its chairs stacked on the outdoor tables for the night, but the faint scent of coffee still lingering in the air. You pass a flower stall, the blooms closed and resting now, pale shapes in the dimness, roses, carnations, wild flowers from the Catalan countryside. You turn off La Rambla and step through an archway. Ahead of you opens one of Barcelona's most beautiful squares. This is Plaça Reial, the Royal Square. It is framed on all sides by elegant neoclassical arcades, their pale stone columns standing in gentle rows. In the center of the square, 3 graceful fountain figures rise from a stone basin. This is the Fountain of the Three Graces. Around the edges of the square stand palm trees, their fronds swaying almost imperceptibly in the night breeze. And the lampposts, you notice, have a distinctive form, elegant and organic, shaped almost like growing things rather than metal. These were designed by a young Antoni Gaudí, one of the earliest pieces of work he contributed to the city that would one day bear his creative mark on almost every corner. You walk to the fountain and sit on its edge. The water makes a soft, continuous sound as it falls. The square is yours alone right now. You look up at the sky above Plaça Reial and see a rectangle of deep blue, framed by the rooftops and the soft glow of the city beyond. A few stars are visible. You breathe in deeply. The air here carries a hint of jasmine from somewhere nearby. Your whole body feels loose and warm. After a long, restful moment by the fountain, you rise and wander back toward the old city. You are entering the Barri Gothic now, the Gothic Quarter. This is the oldest part of Barcelona, built on the foundations of Barcino, the Roman settlement established here around 15 BC. The streets become narrower and older, the stones beneath your feet worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. You move through the labyrinthine streets slowly, without any map or destination. This is the pleasure of the Gothic Quarter at night, getting gently lost, letting the narrow lanes lead you where they will. Tall medieval buildings lean slightly toward each other overhead. Here and there, a stone archway spans the alley, connecting two buildings across the gap. Wrought iron lanterns cast warm pools of light on the cobblestones. You come to a small square and recognize it immediately, even in the quiet dark. This is Plaça de Sant Felip Neri, a tiny square enclosed by old stone buildings. The church on one side, Sant Felip Neri, still bears the marks of its difficult history. The old stone pockmarked near the base where the memory of war was written into the building itself. You stand quietly for a moment, honoring that memory. The square is so still. A single lamp burns near the church door. Water drips from a small fountain in the corner. You continue through the Gothic Quarter until you reach the Barcelona Cathedral, the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and Saint Eulalia. Its facade rises dramatically in front of you, its Gothic spires reaching upward into the dark sky. The construction of this facade began in the late 19th century, but the cathedral itself has roots going back to the 4th century, and the current Gothic structure was begun in 1298. You walk around the side of the cathedral and find the entrance to the cloister. The gate is open. You step inside. The cloister is a square garden enclosed by Gothic arches on all four sides. In the center, orange and magnolia trees grow in the quiet dark, and near the pool in the middle, you can just make out the shapes of the cathedral's famous white geese, 13 of them, sleeping peacefully in the shadows. They have lived here for centuries. These geese, a living tradition as old as the city itself. You find a stone bench beneath an archway and sit. The cloister garden is utterly still. The only sounds are the soft breath of wind through the orange trees and the occasional quiet rustle of the sleeping geese. You feel a deep sense of peace settle over you. This place has held peace for a very long time, and it holds yours too. Now, as you rest here in the gentle dark, you leave the cloister and walk onward through the Gothic Quarter's winding streets. Soon you reach a passage that narrows between two buildings and look up to see a bridge spanning the alley above you. This is the Pont del Bisbe, the Bishop's Bridge, a neo-Gothic footbridge built in 1928. It connects the Palau de la Generalitat with the old residence of the canons. Its stone tracery and pointed arch are impossibly delicate, like something from a dream. Somewhere, you have heard a legend about this bridge. There is a carved skull hidden within the stonework, and if you look at it and make a wish, the wish will come true. You look up in the lamplight, searching the intricate carvings. You find the skull nestled among the decorative stone. You close your eyes for just a moment and let a wish form quietly in your heart. Not a wish for things or outcomes, simply a wish for peace, for rest, for all to be well. That feels like enough. Time moves differently in sleep, and now, without any journey you can quite explain, you find yourself standing before the Sagrada Familia, Antoni Gaudi's extraordinary basilica. Construction began here in 1882, and Gaudí devoted the rest of his life to the project until his death in 1926. He is buried in the crypt beneath the church. The basilica is still being built, still evolving, still reaching toward completion more than a century after it began. At night, the Sagrada Familia is illuminated from below, and the effect is extraordinary. The towers, some completed and some still rising, seem to grow upward organically rather than being built. This was Gaudí's intention. He took his inspiration from nature. The interior columns of the basilica branch outward like trees. The facades are encrusted with stone figures and forms that seem to have grown there rather than being carved. Gaudí said that nature was the great book from which he studied. You stand before the Nativity facade, the eastern face of the church, the one that Gaudí himself largely oversaw. It is covered with carved figures of extraordinary complexity. The Holy Family, angels, plants and animals woven into the stone. The whole facade seems to pulse with quiet life in the warm glow of the night lighting. You sit on a bench across the small park that faces the basilica and simply look. You do not try to understand or analyze the shapes. You simply let them rest in your vision, soft and luminous. Your breath is very slow now. Your body is deeply relaxed. There is something about this building that invites stillness, that asks nothing of you but presence. From the Sagrada Familia, the city carries you gently upward. You are climbing now through the Gracia neighborhood, and then higher still, until you arrive at Parc Güell. This park was created by Gaudí between 1900 and 1914, originally conceived as a garden city of 60 housing plots. The project was never fully realized as planned, but what remains is one of the most magical spaces in Barcelona. You enter the park through a quiet gate and make your way up a wide staircase. To one side of the stairs, a magnificent dragon mosaic seems to slumber on the steps. Its scales are made of hundreds of fragments of ceramic tile, called trencadís, broken pieces of color, painstakingly assembled into something whole and beautiful, blues and greens and golds glinting softly in the moonlight. You climb past the dragon and enter the hypostyle hall, a forest of stone columns. The ceiling above you is covered in mosaic medallions, circular designs in white and gold and pale blue. Each one is different. The columns are thick and solid, but the hall has a lightness to it, an openness that surprises you. Gaudí studied nature his entire life, and these columns were inspired by the way trees hold up the canopy. You emerge from the hall onto the great terrace above. This is the main viewpoint of Parc Güell, the broad open esplanade enclosed by the famous serpentine bench. The bench wraps around the entire perimeter of the terrace in a long, winding curve. It too is covered in trencadís mosaic, thousands of fragments of ceramic making a wild, exuberant tapestry of color. You run your fingers along the smooth tile as you walk. You sit on the bench and look out over Barcelona. The entire city spreads below you, a constellation of lights stretching all the way to the sea. The Mediterranean is visible in the distance, a dark shimmer on the horizon. And beyond the city, the mountains frame everything, their dark shapes against a sky scattered with stars. The night air up here is cooler, scented with pine and dry earth. Parc Güell is more than 17 hectares of land next to the ridge of Collserola, and at night it feels vast and wild. You hear crickets, the soft sound of the wind in the trees below. You close your eyes and let the sounds and the scent of the night wash over you. Your breathing is deep and steady. Your body is heavy and soft on the cool ceramic bench. Time shifts again, as it does in these night journeys. And now you are descending back through the city, all the way down to the sea. You are in Barceloneta, the old fisherman's neighborhood that stretches between the port and the Mediterranean coast. The streets here are different from the Gothic quarter, broader, more open, the buildings lower, and ahead of you, there is the scent of the sea. You walk through Barceloneta and emerge onto the wide beach promenade, the Passeig Marítim. The beach itself is ahead of you, a broad curve of pale sand along the Mediterranean shore. At this hour, it is empty and still. You slip off your shoes and step off the promenade onto the sand. It is cool and soft beneath your feet. Each step is quiet. You walk toward the water. The Mediterranean at night is a very particular shade of dark. Not black, but a deep, shifting blue-gray. The surface catches the moonlight in long, rippling streaks. Waves arrive at the shore with a gentle, rhythmic sound. Not crashing, but folding. A soft collapse of water. Again and again and again. It is perhaps the most soothing sound in the world. You sit down on the sand, facing the sea. In the distance, toward the end of the beach, you can see the distinctive sail-shaped profile of a tall building rising against the sky. Its glass facade catches the moonlight. The city continues behind you, alive and glowing, but here on the sand everything feels removed from that. quieter, more elemental, just sand and sea and sky. You lie back on the sand and look up. The sky above is vast. The stars are brighter here, away from the brightest of the city lights. You find yourself simply breathing in time with the waves, in as the wave builds, out as it falls, in and out, in and out. The rhythm is ancient and steady. The sea has been breathing like this for millions of years. You breathe with it now. Your body grows heavier on the cool sand. Your arms and legs are completely without tension. Your thoughts, if there are any, float up and dissolve like foam on the water's edge. There is only the sound of the sea, the warmth of the night, the stars above, and the deep, safe feeling of being held by the earth beneath you. You rest there for a long, timeless moment. When you eventually rise, you walk slowly along the waterfront until you reach the Parc de la Ciutadella. This beautiful park was created in the 19th century, on the site of a military citadel that the people of Barcelona demolished after long years of resistance. It became a symbol of liberation. Today it is one of the most beloved green spaces in the city, its wide paths and open lawns and ornate fountain giving the city room to breathe. You enter the park and walk along a path, lit softly by old-fashioned lamps. Tall trees rise on either side, their branches meeting overhead to form a tunnel of leaves. You walk slowly, unhurried. The park is completely quiet. A cat crosses the path ahead of you and disappears into the shadows. A duck moves sleepily on the small lake nearby. Everything is at rest. You come to the great ornamental waterfall and fountain, the Cascada. It is a monumental composition of stone and sculpture and water, grand and theatrical. Designed in the late 19th century, the young Gaudí is said to have contributed to its design during his student years. At night, with the water catching the moonlight and the stone figures looming gently in the dark, it has a quiet, dreamlike grandeur. You find a bench facing the fountain and sit. You listen to the water. The sound is full and constant, layered. One stream over another, like many voices speaking at once in a language you do not need to understand, only to receive. Your eyelids are very heavy now. Your whole body is sinking into warmth and rest. Barcelona has given you so much tonight. The warmth of La Rambla, the quiet grace of Plaça Real, the ancient stones of the Gothic Quarter, the wonder of the Sagrada Familia, the mosaic magic of Parc Güell, the rhythm of the Mediterranean, and now, this final stillness beside the fountain in a park where the city finally rests. The scene around you softens. The fountain, the trees, the warm night air. It all becomes gentle and slightly blurred, the way things do at the very edge of sleep. The colors are softer, the sounds are quieter. You feel yourself tipping gently over the threshold, from this beautiful imagined city into the deeper place of sleep. And it is the easiest thing in the world. You are lying in your bed now. Your body is completely at rest. The warmth of Barcelona lingers in your skin, in your breath, in the quiet of your mind. The rhythm of the Mediterranean Sea is still with you, soft and steady. In and out, in and out. Your breath follows it naturally. Your heart is calm. As you rest here, let these truths settle into you like warmth. You are safe. You are deeply held by the ground beneath you and by the life that surrounds you. You have done enough today. You are enough exactly as you are. There is nothing more required of you tonight than this. Simply to rest, simply to receive. Your body knows how to heal while you sleep. Your mind knows how to let go. Your spirit knows how to wander in the good, free spaces of dream. Trust all of this. You do not need to manage or control, only surrender. Like water finding its level, like a stone coming to rest at the bottom of the sea. Sleep is gathering around you now, deeper and deeper. The world is receding. The sounds of Barcelona, the warmth of the Mediterranean night, the stone and the mosaic, and the ancient streets, all of it is fading into something softer and more formless. And you are going with it willingly, gratefully. The night will hold you now, for as long as you need. Hour after quiet hour, your body resting, your mind still, your breath slow and even. And when morning comes, you will wake gently. carrying something of Barcelona in your heart. The warmth, the beauty, the peace of ancient places and open sea. These are yours now. Good night, dear friend. Sleep well. Dream of fountains and warm stone, of mosaic color and the sound of the sea. You are held. You are loved. You are exactly where you need to be. Sleep. As you drift in the earliest layers of sleep, Barcelona visits you once more, gently, without urgency. You find yourself on Passeig de Gràcia, one of the most beautiful avenues in the world. This wide boulevard in the Example district was developed in the early 20th century, and it became home to some of Barcelona's most celebrated buildings. The wealthy families of the city competed to build the most remarkable homes here, commissioning the greatest architects of the age. You walk slowly down the center of the boulevard. The pavement here is distinctive, laid in hexagonal tiles of pale gray and blue, designed by Antoni Gaudí. Beneath your feet is a pattern of spiraling shapes, like the inside of a shell or the unfurling of a fern. Even the ground you walk on in Barcelona carries an artist's intention. To one side of the avenue, a building catches your eye even in the dark. Casa Batlló. Gaudí redesigned this building in 1904 to 1906, and the result is unlike anything else in the world. The facade appears to be covered in scales, the balconies shaped like the bones of some great creature, the roof rising in a curved ridge of brilliant blue and green ceramic tiles. Some say the building represents Saint George, the patron saint of Catalonia, slaying the dragon. Its roof is the dragon's back, but at this hour, in the quiet amber light, it simply looks like a dream-made stone. A little further along the avenue, Casa Mila appears, also by Gaudí, built between 1906 and 1912. Its facade is undulating stone, grey and organic, like a cliff face carved by centuries of wind and water. The building has no straight lines. The walls move and curve and breathe. The rooftop is famous for its chimney stacks that twist upward like armored figures, standing sentinel over the city. You stand before Casa Mila and simply breathe. There is something about Gaudí's work that does not demand intellectual analysis. It asks only for the openness of the senses. To see it is enough. To let it rest in your vision without needing to explain it. You do that now. You breathe and you look and you let the beauty of the building simply be. Your body relaxes a little further. The night carries you again, this time upward, to the great hill that overlooks the city from the southwest. You are on Montjuic, the hill that has been a place of significance for this city for thousands of years. There is a castle at its summit, though tonight you do not climb that far. Instead, you find yourself at the great fountain basin, the Font Magica, the magic fountain. Tonight the fountain is still and dark. The great circular basin is quiet. The water rests. You sit on the steps above the fountain and look out over the city below. From here, the whole of Barcelona is visible. The Example spreads in its orderly grid. The old city clusters tightly around the cathedral. The sea glitters in the distance, and somewhere in the middle of it all, just visible, the towers of the Sagrada Familia rise against the night sky. You sit here a long time. The view does not demand anything of you. You are simply a presence in this place, a witness to the beauty of the city at rest. You think about the city stretched below you. Barcelona has existed for more than 2,000 years. It has been a Roman colony, a medieval trading port, a modern metropolis. It has produced artists and architects and poets, whose work changed the way humanity sees the world. Gaudí, Picasso, Joan Miró. And yet it is also simply a place where people live, where children go to school, and neighbors share meals, and old men play chess in shaded squares. All of it is held in the city below you now. The history and the ordinary life, the grandeur and the tenderness. From Montjuic, you descend one final time. The city brings you back gently, through the neighborhood of El Born. This is a quarter of medieval streets adjacent to the Gothic, perhaps even more intimate in character. The streets here are quieter still. Old stone arches span the narrow lanes. You pass the Basilica de Santa Maria del Mar, the Church of Santa Maria of the Sea. It was built between 1329 and 1383, by the people of the Ribera neighborhood. Built with their own hands and their own contributions, fishermen and merchants and artisans carried the stone from the quarry on Montjuic themselves, one stone at a time, over decades. It is called the Cathedral of the Sea. You stand before the facade of Santa Maria del Mar and feel the weight of what was given here. All those ordinary people, carrying stone, building something that would outlast them by centuries, something that would shelter the prayers and the grief and the celebrations of generation after generation. There is deep comfort in this, in the way love, when it is given freely and generously, endures long past any one life. You find a low stone step near the church and sit. The night is at its deepest now. Even the last of the city sounds have faded. There is only the warm stone, the dark sky, the faint salt on the air from the sea just a few streets away. And there is you, sitting in the beautiful quiet of Barcelona, your breath slow and your body resting and your mind finally fully still. This is what the journey was always for. Not the seeing, though the seeing was wonderful. Not the moving from place to place, though each place gave you something real. The journey was for this, for arriving here, inside yourself, in a space of complete rest and peace. Barcelona was the path. This stillness is the destination, and now you carry it with you. Back through the soft fading of the dream. Back to your bed, your room, the quiet dark around you. The stone of Barcelona dissolves. The warm air dissolves. The sound of the sea and the fountains, and the wind in the palm trees of Placa Real all dissolve, gently, into the deeper quiet of sleep. Your body is completely still. Your breath is deep and slow. The night wraps around you like the warm air of a Mediterranean evening. You are resting now in the truest sense, not waiting for morning, not processing what has passed, simply resting, simply being, simply allowing. The hours of deep night continue. Your sleep moves through its natural cycles, each one doing its quiet essential work. Your body restoring itself, your mind settling and clearing. All is well. All is tended to. You do not need to do anything at all. Let go of the last traces of the day. Let go of anything you are still carrying. Let go of tomorrow and its demands. There is only now, only rest, only the gentle rhythm of your own breathing, and the peaceful dark all around you. You are safe. You are held by the earth and by the night, and by something vast and quiet that is always present. Rest in this. Trust in this. Let it be enough. As the deepest hours of the night pass, your body completes its essential work. Muscles rebuilding, the mind filing away the events of the day, making space for tomorrow, your nervous system finding its natural balance. All of this is happening right now, in the silence of your sleep, without any effort from you at all. Your body has been doing this every night of your life. It knows exactly what to do. You can trust it completely. And somewhere in this sleep, perhaps Barcelona visits you one last time. A brief, vivid impression. The warmth of the stones on La Rambla, the scent of orange trees in the cathedral cloister, the mosaic colors of Gaudí's great bench at Parc Güell catching the moonlight, the sound of the Mediterranean arriving endlessly and gently at the shore. These images drift through your sleeping mind like music, soft and beautiful, and then gone, leaving only a feeling behind. The feeling of having been somewhere magnificent, of having rested in beauty. You carry this feeling with you into the deepest sleep, where there are no images and no thoughts, only the vast restoring dark, only the perfect stillness, the peace that lives beneath all things, that was there before you were born and will be there long after, and is here with you now, in this moment, in this breath, in this quiet and generous dark. When morning comes, when the light begins to find its way through and your body naturally stirs, you will wake gradually. Let your eyes adjust slowly, and take a moment, before the day begins, to notice how you feel. Perhaps rested, renewed, perhaps a little lighter than you were before. That is the gift of a good night's sleep. That is what this night has given you. Until then, sleep on. The night is long and generous. It has hours yet to give you. Rest in every one of them. Let every breath be an act of receiving. Let every heartbeat be a small yes to life. You are here. You are well. You are held. This is what travel does. Even imagined travel. It takes you out of the familiar and shows you other ways of being. The Barcelona of tonight has reminded you that beauty is everywhere if you are willing to slow down and see it. That history lives in stones and streets and the way a fountain sounds at midnight. That the sea has been patient and constant for millions of years and will continue long after all our worries have dissolved. That rest is not laziness but wisdom, and that peace is not a destination but a practice, available in any moment you choose to turn toward it. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Good night. Sleep deeply, sleep peacefully, sleep long, and wake tomorrow with Barcelona still warm in your heart. Sleep.